Hey, welcome to Creepy Culture. It's Jen. Thank you guys for being here. Today I have Bryce Edwards, and he's going to be chatting about some Sasquatch he has on his property. So I'm going to bring him out. Hey, Bryce.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. Loving this 106-degree weather we're having right now.
Yeah, it's kind of hot here
Yeah.
too. It's real humid too, and I hate that kind of weather when we're supposed to be up in the 90s plus for the next 10 days.
Yeah,
So,
same
what
here. I
state are
live
you
in
in?
southern Illinois. Illinois. I live in southern Illinois.
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah, I
Ohio,
think
and
that
it's humid and hot.
yeah, it's humid here. At least there's a little bit of a breeze going, so I'm okay.
Right. I hate that
Yeah.
weather. Ugh,
Yeah. Yeah, I prefer
I'm not
fall.
looking forward to it. Me too. All
Yes.
day, every day. I don't like being that hot. It's really terrible. You can't even go outside and
hmm
sit down and chill without sweating to death. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly. And then the
So,
mosquitoes get you.
yeah, that
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
I hate spraying that crap on me all the time, but
Yeah.
it happens. But thank you for being here. I know we had to reschedule several times because of my schedule and your schedule, but
Yeah, life
finally got
gets
it
in the way.
together. It does. It happens. Um, so there's some people in the chat too. So I'll try to pop questions up if anybody asks
Oh,
any,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you can just go ahead and tell about yourself and what's going on with you.
Okay. All right. Well, my name's Bryce Edwards. Illinois, like I said. I'm just a regular guy, factory worker, got a wife, 4 kids. Our family since the 1860s. And since at least 1963, there's been sightings of Bigfoot out there. And the only reason I say 1963 is because that was when my grandma had a sighting. And I don't know about anything before that because those people are dead and unto now. Uh, but yeah, so she had a sighting then. It was she was in the front yard with my dad and my uncle when they were little, and she called it a honey bear, and it came out of the woods across the road and got into the field and stood up and started walking towards them on 2 feet. It was on all fours to begin with
Mhm.
when it came out of the woods. But whenever she was telling me this, I was like 9 or 10 years old, and so I'm just thinking a bear. But then doing a little research, listening to podcasts and stuff, hearing that term used when speaking about Bigfoot by old timers, like people that would be grandma's age and stuff, it was like, oh, the light bulb went off, and I was like, okay, that makes sense why grandma, not only locked the door inside, but went and hid in the closet until my grandpa got home from work, because it wasn't just a bear. So there was that. My dad had a few, he's never seen one, but he has heard them. And I've had 2 sightings, um, maybe a third sighting, but I don't really want to call it that because I was driving too fast. I just happened to look over and saw a black blur amongst all the trees. And like there was no leaves or anything at that time. So it's like, okay, there was something there. I just don't know what. That was earlier this year. But the first activity I noticed that I could associate as Bigfoot activity would have been 2023. My wife on Mother's Day, she wanted to go out to the farm and do a little foraging and stuff. So me, her, and the kids went out there, and we parked over at my cousin Jerry's place. He's passed since then, but we parked there and then walked through his yard, through the back of it. You got a bunch of really tall grass right there, like probably like chest high. And once you wade through all that, as we were wading through that, I came across this spot that at first I thought it was like where a bunch of deer had probably bedded down or something because it was all down and everything right there, and a decent size, But with what we found in the field, makes me wonder if it wasn't like a Bigfoot ambush spot, so to say, because
Oh,
my
wow.
son he got ahead of us, yeah. And he got into the field and said, "Hey, Dad, there's some footprints in the field," and I'm like, okay, thinking, well, maybe it was dad or something, because we were going where dad said to go look for. She was wanting to find morels, even though it was past time for morels. Um,
Right.
but he said if there was any, they might be over in this section of the woods, because there's a bunch of fallen trees over there and stuff behind my cousin's place. So we were like, all right, and got up there and I saw how big these footprints were, and I hurried to my car and I grabbed my tape measure out of the glove box and came back and measured them, and they were 18 inches long by 5.5 inches wide. And I mean, I know that the width kind of seems small compared to a lot of other ones, but some people I've talked to, they think that it could have been a female Sasquatch. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Um, but the 18 inches was pretty shocking, and like you could tell, like looking at them with your eyes, you could tell there was like toe prints and stuff. But like trying to get a picture of it, I took pictures, but it's kind of hard to make out the toe prints because my phone then was not like a good camera phone,
Mhm.
just one of those cheap straight talk phones. And but they were going in the same direction we were headed, over into the woods, cutting the corner of the field. And at the corner of that field, like maybe 20 yards straight in a diagonal from the corner, there's a big pond right there.
Mhm.
So you got like a water source right there. Um, but instead, with me thinking it was a Bigfoot hunting blind or ambush spot, found a deer skeleton, and this was not like anything I've seen as far as a deer kill goes. Um, there was the back half of it, like where I first came across it, and then about 20 feet up was the front half. Something had literally took it and just ripped it in half. Now it was picked clean, with the exception of the front legs, from like say like the knee joint down to the hoof. There was still fur there, but aside from that, everything else was gone. But the bones and everything were still intact, like they would be. Wasn't like coyotes or something like that where there'd be bones scattered everywhere.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know, but it was pretty wild. And so, I'm just kind of sitting there like taking all this in, because my dad had told me back in 2015 he heard a roar, and it
Hmm.
was, about dusk, summer day. He was over there at Jerry's. They were sitting on his deck, just shooting the breeze. And all of a sudden, you had birds chirping, coyotes off in the field across. And all of a sudden, there's just this big, just loudest roar, roar thing.
Yep.
I'm terrible at doing that. But and everything went dead silent. And he said the hair on their arms stood up and all that. And I mean, he was like, they looked at each other, because Jerry, like, he was a hunter. He was always in the woods.
Hmm.
Neither one of those men knew what that was. And he called me that night telling me about it. And he was like, he goes, I'm going to sound really crazy when I say this, but I swear it sounded like a Bigfoot roar.
Yep.
And I mean, at the time, 2015, I'm thinking, okay, Bigfoot, but in Southern Illinois? I mean, I know back in the 70s, we had the Big Muddy Monster sightings in Murfreesboro, which I'm wearing the hat for it right now, because
Yeah.
last Saturday was the Big Muddy Monster Festival, and I was a speaker at it, so that's pretty cool. But it, I mean, that was then, and I mean, I hadn't really done my homework on what was going on in my home area, because if I would have known, oh yeah, the Shawnee National Forest is not that far
Oh yeah.
away, and there's
Hmm.
a railroad track that goes from the farm area and connects to other railroad tracks that lead down to that. So it's like there's a pathway for them to get there, path of least resistance,
Yeah.
and and at that time too, I hadn't put two and two together on my grandma's story. So you know, but like I said, then when I find those prints and everything, and I mean, that's basically a straight line from where they heard that roar come from. I was just on the other side of the street from where that roar was.
Hmm.
So it was like, okay. And and like, so we go into the woods, and I found a small tree structure, or at least I think it was a tree structure. It didn't look like, it was just a bunch of like little sticks that had been like TP'd up, but like against a tree.
Hmm.
Didn't look like they've blown out of the tree and just landed that way, or like were on the ground and like blew up and landed that way. They looked like they were put there with purpose. What that purpose was, I don't know,
Right.
because usually if it's like a territory marker from stuff I've seen on the internet, they're a lot bigger. So I'm not really sure on that, but I took note of it, and that was pretty much it for 2023. I just told my dad about it, and he reminded me about that roar he heard, and I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Those roars ain't no
So
joke.
then, yeah, that's what he said. I heard a scream. I'll get to that. I heard a scream, and that
Hmm.
wasn't no joke either.
I know.
That kind of
You can
shocked me
definitely
a
tell
little.
it's something that isn't normal. Just put
Yeah,
it that way.
yeah, yeah, big time.
Hmm.
Um, so we're sitting there. It's 2024. My dad calls me. By this point, my grandma had passed away. She died of dementia, and then Grandpa gets dementia right after she died.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, it sucks. That's a terrible disease.
it is.
But he fought it as long as he could. But so Dad called me because Dad lives on the farm, and Grandpa lives in town. Well, lived in town just a few blocks down from me. So my dad called me and he was like, hey, do you mind grabbing Grandpa and bringing him out to the farm, out to the house? I'm like, yeah, no problem. So me and my youngest, who was 3 at the time, we went and picked him up, and we head out to the farm. So you got to go down Main Road, and then you take some back roads, and then boom, you're at the farm. Um, as you're going down the road that Dad's house is on, you'll come across a creek, and that's Pond Creek. So you go across it, and you've got like how the woods and everything grow along the creeks and all that stuff. So you got like those little line of woods right there. Then you've got big field on the left, big field on the right, and you're starting to go up a hill about 30, 40 yards past the creek. So I catch movement at the corner of my right eye, so the field to the south. I look over, and about 65 to 80 yards at the most, I see this big, solid black, like jet black creature digging into the hillside. Like, I mean, this thing was big, and the arm movement with it just, grabbing the dirt and thrashing it back and everything, like that's what caught my eye, and the movement and everything. And I look over, and I mean, this sighting was only like, 4 or 5 seconds. Because like I said, I was driving. People always want to give me crap. Well, why didn't you stop? Why didn't you record? Number one, I was looking at it and I'm like, what? And number two, I had my grandpa with dementia and my 3-year-old with me. Like, sorry, I'm not stopping.
Right. It takes a
Um,
minute to comprehend what
but
you're seeing too. It's shocking.
exactly, because I'm
Mhm.
just like, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's not a person. That's too far away and too big to be that far
Mhm.
away to be a person. And because like the coal mine, there's a coal mine out that way, and back in I think it was '06, they long walled underneath the farm. And so like there's certain areas in the fields and stuff where you can see where it's kind of like wavy a little bit,
Mhm.
where like some subsidence has happened and whatnot. And um and that, like, it was in one of those dips in the where the subsidence had happened. Now, what it was digging after, I really don't know. I'm gonna assume some kind of small animal, maybe. Um, but there used to be a Native American settlement over in that area, so some people have said that maybe it was doing something, going like looking for something like that. I don't know. I am no expert by any means. I just know I saw it digging, and I'm not sure what it was after. My guess, because this was in the middle of the day, like this was about quarter after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Also the month of May, though it was like 2 weeks before Mother's Day. Um, so I mean, I don't. May seems to kind of be like the kickoff, I guess you could say, for like activity being noticed out there.
Mhm.
Um, or like really being noticed. My dad's kind of heard them off and on this year since February, but he said the month of April they were kind of quiet. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, so that was pretty wild. I dropped Grandpa off. I told my dad, hey, I just saw something really big out in the field down there. I'm gonna hurry up and go back because it was only about a quarter of a mile away from my dad's house,
Mhm.
and he didn't really know what I was talking about at the time. And so I hurried up, got back in the car. Me and little man went back down there. Well, by this point, it heard the car and it stood up and walked away, but it wasn't like running. You know what I mean? So I thought that I had had enough time to still maybe catch a glimpse of it to try and take a picture or something. But no, it was gone. I mean, there was all different directions it could have went. I'm not sure where it went. But so I go home that after that, and I tell my wife about it, and she was like, "Well, let's go back tomorrow, and you can go out there and try and find where it was digging at and take pictures and stuff." I'm like, "All right, good deal." So, because she's really supportive about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we go back, and the next day it rained that night, which aggravated me because I was afraid everything was going to be washed away.
Right.
A lot of it was, but I was able to find it. It took me a little while, but I was able to find where it was digging at, and I found one good print to take a picture of and measured it. Sorry, it was 16 inches long, and I didn't do the width on this one, but the length was 16 inches. But the hole, I could still fit my hand in the hole, even though it had collapsed down a little bit.
Hmm.
So this thing had to have a really big hand. And I mean, the arm, like whenever I saw it thrashing that dirt back, like take my arm, take your arm, add at least another half an arm to it,
Dang.
and that was like the length that it looked like throwing it back.
Yeah.
I never saw the face because whenever it was thrashing, it was like turning away from the road, and then whenever it stood up and immediately was heading further south. So like never I saw the like side back. The build, whenever it stood up, it kind of threw me off a little bit because at first I wasn't sure I was looking at a Bigfoot because I just wasn't what I expected. Um, it did not have that patty look to it,
Right.
being so hulking and whatnot. This was more slender, kind of like I don't know if you ever saw the Sam Elliott movie that came out a while back. It's called the Man Who Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
Hmm.
The body type of Bigfoot they used in that movie. That's how this looked as far as the body type. Now theirs in the movie was red. This one was black. Um, but like that more slender, still built, but slender look. Um, that was, that threw me off because I was like, well, do they look like that? Because I wasn't sure. So like I contacted a few people and, I was talking with them. I was like, what do you guys think and all this? And they all were like, oh, I think it was Bigfoot that you saw, man. I don't think it was anything else. Like, did you see pointy ears? I was like, no, I didn't see any pointy ears. It was a conical head. And, the traps on this thing were massive. So I was like, it wasn't that. And so they were like, no, man, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Plus the footprint, I mean, it, it looked, like what I found the year before, just not as long.
Right.
So, I'm trying to figure out where it came from, and I kind of could make out, before they just washed away, it was coming from over by the creek. So I walked over that way thinking, well, if it came out of the creek, maybe I can find a good, like, deep impression to get a picture of or something. But it was so overgrown over there. I mean, you could see, like, like vines and stuff stepped on, but not really anything that you could get a picture of.
Right.
Um, so I'm trying to just looking around, see if I can find anything. And I see about 10 feet up in the air, there's this broken branch. But when I was looking at it, I noticed that this thing hadn't just been broken where it could have been like a storm or anything like that. It was broken down and then twisted around
Mhm.
2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So that tells me something that could reach up there, something that has a hand and a thumb and is really strong because this thing was 3 inches around. And I only say that because I used to work at Home Depot in the plumbing department. So I know what the 3 inch PVC pipe looks like.
Right.
And I mean, this was about the size of that. And I mean, there's no way I could get up there and do that, you know?
No.
Um, and so I was like, okay. And that spinning around told me the intention also. So I was like, okay. But whenever I got back to the car, my wife told me, which this is the part that gets me for like size reference. Um, she said that when I was standing out in the field, just standing up taking pictures, that she could barely see me from the road. And then when I knelt down to
Oh.
try and get closer up pictures, she lost sight of me completely. When I saw this thing, it was knelt down. I saw like mid thigh up, and then it stood up as at whenever it heard my car. So I'm gonna guess this thing had to have been at least 7.5 feet.
Yeah, it's big.
Just guessing. I mean, because like I'm 5'10", and she lost sight of me when I knelt down. I mean, this thing was big.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I ended up contacting a buddy of mine that I knew. He lives in Illinois. He lives up in central Illinois. He makes documentaries, and he has like a YouTube channel that he does like investigation videos on and stuff.
Mhm.
And his name's Joe Turry. And I asked him, I said, hey, man, so, because I've known him for a few years. And I was like, so this happened, and told him about it. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, you want to come down and check it out? Because I mean, he's got all the cool gadgets. Me, I've just got eyes.
Right.
And so he came down, and he wanted to do a like an interview on location, he called it. And then like do like a daytime investigation. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we did that, and we called it the Pond Creek Monster because Pond Creek was right there, and saw this monstrous thing in the field with the size and all that. So I was like, hey, there we go. And it did pretty good on his YouTube channel. Like I figured it might get like 200 views at the most or something, and it got like 10,000 in a month or
Damn.
something.
That's
And
good.
yeah, and he was like, yeah, that's what he said. I was blown away to see 1,000. And then he goes, um, let's see, can't just fathom. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I
Mhm.
haven't seen one up close, and I mean, I do want to see the face, so I guess I got to be up close to see that. But but yeah, so he was like, well, let's go ahead and make a full-fledged documentary then, because he has a few other full-fledged documentaries he's made. Like
Yeah.
he made one about the Big Muddy Monster in Murfreesboro, and then he made one about this UFO incident that happened over in Grand Tower, Illinois, which is not far from Murfreesboro. Like Southern Illinois is weird for UFOs and Bigfoot activity, and just um, like even like some people claim they've seen Black Panthers here. My uncle claims he saw one time. I remember my cousin having a picture that his game camera took out on the farm somewhere, and you saw this great big black cat of some type that didn't look like a house cat. Um, I don't know. um,
There was one here
a
in
lot of
Dayton,
weird,
a
a lot
Black
of high
Panther.
strangeness out there.
Sorry. There was a Black Panther here in
Really?
Dayton a few years back. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh
I
wow.
don't know if they ever found it or
Yeah.
what.
So yeah, I mean it's weird. I don't know. I don't know how they got here, but it's kind of like I don't want to run into one in the woods either.
Me either. I'm scared to
But
death of cats.
yeah, so yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't. Whenever I'm out squatching, like I know a lot of people give me crap about this, but like I always kind of do this Native American thing that I was told to do, like welcome them to the farm, which I did. Let them know it's okay to be there as long as they're respectful to like my family's property and whatnot. Um, and then you know, like don't go in armed, because if you're saying you come in peace and then you go in armed, you might give them the wrong idea.
Hmm.
So I mean, I don't, and so far I haven't had any issue. Um, but it's also kind of like a catch-22, because say I come across a cougar, because I know cougars are out there, or something else, and I ain't got nothing on me. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, great,
That's not good.
But no, I may end up carrying a pistol or something just in case, but yeah, we'll see. But so we did several investigations last year filming for this documentary,
Hmm.
and we got a lot of stuff that was interesting. Like we didn't just have Bigfoot, we had some high strangeness going on too. Um, because, and I don't know if you would call it woo or not. Some of it probably, but I wouldn't say all of it because it was different things. Like we would get animal mimicry.
Yep.
So like like the 800-pound owl.
Yeah.
We would hear that. We also heard one time though, it sounded like somebody trying to be a person saying who out there, but it was like there was nobody out there except us, and then like my dad who was in the house, and my stepmom who was in the house. And where we were at wasn't close to them, but you heard this like who, and then not long after that, which I had a parabolic dish, and Joe and his research partner Jason, they were just listening with their ears, but they heard also we all heard it, just a belly laugh come from the
Oh,
woods,
that's
and like
creepy.
we're shining our lights over there and
Yeah.
everything, nothing, no eye shine, nothing. So it's like, would you call that a disembodied voice? You know, was it a cloaked Bigfoot doing it? I don't know. But we definitely heard it, and we could not find a source for where it came from. So that was weird.
Yeah.
Um, there, there was that same night, but it was earlier before they got there. I got out to the farm first, and I told my dad because at that point in time, Dad was over by my cousin's house cutting up some firewood. And I was telling him, hey, we're going to be out here investigating, just so you know, in case you see flashlights out in the fields or the woods or something, it's us. And don't shoot. And so he was back before they got there. But I'm sitting over there, just parked across from his house. I got the windows down and everything, turned my car off, and I'm just listening because I'm hoping I can hear some like whoops or some tree knocks or something like that.
Right.
Um, what I end up hearing was one of two things. It was either a Bigfoot running through the woods, because it sounded like people make that description of like it sounds like a herd of elephants running through the
Yeah.
woods or something like that, just all these like boom and bang and just crack and all that kind of stuff with like trees and tree branches and whatnot. Um, or the top of a tree on a windless night decided to fall out and hit every branch on the way down.
Oh.
And like I said, it was a windless night, and it happened twice within like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that was pretty wild. And I mean, I don't have any audio of it because I don't have an audio recorder. I'm gonna order some. I just haven't got around to it yet because I'm not hardcore investigator guy. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's my property. I can go out there
Right.
whenever I want to. It's just trying to find time right now because I've got 4 kids.
Right.
Um, but yeah, but it's it's one of the things that will be happening this year though. But that was weird hearing that because, like I said, it happened twice. So they get there, and I'm like, hey, I've already got activity. Like, let's get out there. And they hurried up and put their gear on and everything, and off we go. Well, once we get out there, we notice that because like this field is shaped like a capital L, and then like this part
Yeah.
here would be the woods. So when like where we're parked at, we're parked like here, and then we're walking and we're over in this area. So over there, there's a ton of deer, and they're all fixated on the woods. I mean, we got within like 15 feet of one of them, and it didn't care about us. Like they were all watching the woods. So I'm wondering if the 2 times I heard that happen, if they were like hunting and like running out trying to grab a deer or something. Now, I never heard an animal in distress noise, so I don't think they got one unless they just got it and broke its neck right away before it could make a noise, maybe. But all the deer there were fixated on those woods, and that was really weird. Then, like I said, we heard that who and then the belly laugh. So that was really strange that night.
That's
Um,
creepy for it to
yeah,
laugh.
yeah.
I
And
know they
another
mimic and
night,
stuff, but to laugh is
oh
creepy.
yeah,
It's just, ugh.
yeah, and especially the belly laugh, because I mean, it did. It just
Mm-hmm.
sounded like a big, just like laugh, like it, creepy as shit. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I'm sitting there, and it's like I don't know. I think it was probably September, late September, early October. We were going to do another investigation out there, and this night was whenever I had, or this day was whenever I had my second sighting. So, and then my wife had a stick thrown at her that night. Um, so we're sitting there, and we had done some investigating during the day, and then took a little break, and then we were gonna get back at it. We were gonna do Amber's interview for the documentary. We were gonna try and do like a fireside chat type interview, and so I'm over there and I'm talking with the camera guy, and Joe and Jason are loading up everything in the truck, and we're getting ready to go over to where Amber's going to be filming her spot at.
Mhm.
So me and the camera guy are sitting on the tailgate of the truck, and Joe and Jason are in the truck. They back out onto the road that Dad's house is on, and we're at the top of the hill, right? So when they're backed out, me and the camera guy, we're on the tailgate. We're facing, going, looking downhill towards the creek. Right there, smack dab in the middle of the road, we see this very tall, slender looking, solid black from head to toe figure standing kind of like, I call it like a full glory pose, you know what I mean? Like, like I'm big bad kind of guy. Um,
Mhm.
but standing there, but also kind of starting to like lean a little bit to its left, my right, almost like it was curious, trying to figure out if we were heading towards it and it needed to get out of there, or if we were moving away from it. But like he saw it, I saw it. We're talking back and forth with each other, like, trying to debunk it. Because we don't, first thing, we don't jump to Bigfoot right away. We try to debunk everything we come across. And then if we can't
As you
debunk
should.
it, we just say, okay, that's interesting. Let's make a note of it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I mean, the sightings,
Exactly.
obviously, even with my first sighting, I wasn't sure it was Bigfoot I saw. I didn't know what I saw. I was like, okay, this is weird because, like I said, the body size, it just threw me off. But yeah, so it was like that. And of course, Joe and Jason, they were pretty sore at us because we didn't hit the truck saying, stop, stop, it's right there. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things, it's like you're caught in the moment and you're trying to figure out what you're looking at. And, some people like me, I'm not trying to be, YouTube famous or anything like that with getting a video or something like that. If I see it, hey, I just got to experience something that not many people in this world get to. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's happened
exactly.
twice to
Yeah,
me.
that's how we are.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
And I mean, now Joe told me I need to get a GoPro and something called a gimbal, and kind of do like that Scott Carpenter method, like walk around out there and have like one going on the front, one going behind me, just in case something pokes its head out whenever I walk by or something. Um, I mean, sure, you know, once I have the money for it, I'll do it.
Right.
But yeah, let's see. Who says I'm not far from them?
Oh, Cindy.
I can't read it.
Cindy
Cindy?
White.
Oh, hey. Well, cool, Cindy. All right. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild, and I mean, the documentary, it's awesome. If anybody wants to watch it, it's on Stash TV, which I think is through YouTube. You can watch it for free over there, I'm pretty sure. It's on Relay. Our distributors kind of being slow about getting it on other, more well-known streaming services. We're hoping for it to be on Prime, and we're hoping for it to be on Tubi. It should be, but I don't have a timeline. I was thinking, it'd be on there by now, so I was saying like, oh yeah, a month or so, and then no, they're taking their time, so I don't know what's going on, but it's passed all the QC checks and everything, so. Um, but it's also, I have like physical copies. If anybody wants one, they can just message me on my Facebook Messenger. But yeah, so my wife, that night, we were sitting there, we got everything set up, and fire going. We had like just using like some like shot and to go fire, and Joe's camera was trying to like zoom in, not zoom in, but focus in. And we ended up, after we got done doing it, we ended up having to scrap it just because the camera never really could like on her because of all the different light going on. But she's sitting there doing the sound. The other cameraman's just kind of like walking around trying to get some nighttime B-roll. And suddenly Amber goes, "Okay, who threw the stick?" And I'm like, what?" We all kind of look at each other like, what do you mean? Who threw a stick? Like nobody. And she was like visibly shaken, She was like seriously, none of you threw a stick? Come on, somebody tell me they throw a stick. No, no one threw a stick. And unbeknownst to us at the time, Joe's camera actually caught the stick hitting her. It came in. It wasn't a big
Oh,
stick or
wow.
anything. We're talking like a twig, Um, but it came in from goal and pretty fast, and it got her, like right above her, and freaked her out because like that interview, he's members only section of his channel. It's is it okay if I say his channel name?
Yeah, yeah, of course. People's
Okay.
wanting to watch it.
It's oh, okay, cool. It's Red Room Seer. Red Room is in capital letters and then like semicolon monsters and legends. I'm pretty sure is what it is. If you look up the Pond Creek Monster on YouTube, you'll see like other interviews, but you'll also see the first documentary we did for his channel. And then, like I said, if anybody wants to see the full fledged documentary, he has it on there too, but it's in his paid section, the member section. It's $5. And he's got a lot of good videos on there too. I'm not trying to like sell for him or nothing like that. That's just an easy way to get to it.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, but her interview's in there, and I mean, you can see in this interview, like she's barely looking at the camera. Like she'll look at the camera, but she's also looking around because she is freaked out because this just happened. You know what I mean? Eyes like bug
I
eyed
feel her.
because
Mm-hmm.
she's like, okay, no one threw
It's
that and something
scary.
threw that, Yeah. And well, what freaked me out
To
is
have
like it
hands
had to
to
have
throw
come the
stuff.
direction over. Yeah, it threw it over by like in the direction I was standing. And there's like, I was at the tree line, but there's just like that tree line. And then there's an open field. So it was either just in the darkness where I couldn't see it or up in a tree. It makes me think juvenile behavior. You know what I mean? Because I don't
Yeah.
know, but it just gave me that feeling. And oh, that person says they've watched it a couple of times. Thank you. Um, and and that person likes me. Well, hey, I like you too. But yeah, it was wild. And so let's see, was that the night? No, another night. Okay, so I got two more encounters that happened, but this one wasn't a Bigfoot encounter. It just was whenever we were out squatching. Um, so it was like probably October 17th, I think, if I remember correctly, 16th, 17th. It was whatever that Saturday was that weekend. Um, Joe and Jason came back out wanting to do like a YouTube live investigation, kind of like for Halloween, Um,
Right.
and of course, we got out there. We thought we were live on YouTube, and it said we were live on YouTube, but we were not live on YouTube because people were messaging me going, "Hey, where are you guys at? Like, we can't find the live." And I'm like, "What? It says we're live," but that was weird.
It does
But
weird.
that night, yeah, that night we were getting excessive amounts of like lightning detected in your area on a clear night, and it wasn't even like heat lightning or anything. And that happens a lot out there actually with like these gadgets they have that'll tell you about lightning strikes being close to you and stuff, and like the EMF readers and whatnot. They'll just spike,
Hmm.
or like the lightning detectors will just go off saying like lightning 2 miles, 1 mile, and there's not a cloud in the sky.
That's interesting.
Um, yeah, I don't know what that's about. I don't know what to make of that. But so that's going on. So we're sitting there, and Jason has this super duper green laser pointer, right? And he's just like starts clicking it off into the sky a little bit, seeing what'll happen. I'm all like, don't be going and calling aliens in on us now, just joking, right? So about a few minutes go by, and all of a sudden we start seeing these red orbs, and kind of freaked me out, and well, freaked all of us out really, because we're like, oh, what's that? Uh, wasn't drones, wasn't any kind of plane or helicopter. It was weird because like when I'm seeing them, like I'm seeing them, and then it's like you'll see one, it'll go, and then it'll just disappear, and then you'll see it pop back up and come over and disappear. Now Joe was trying to film it with his camera, but he was more like he was like, okay, yeah, that's weird. Let's get back to Bigfooting. And Jason had an IR camera, and he was filming it with that. And it wasn't until, I mean, we stayed there watching that for probably a good 20 minutes or more. I mean, my dad was with
Mhm.
us too and everything. And we got, we, went back afterwards, and I mean, they just eventually, they just kind of went away, right? So whenever they went away, we went about our business with squatching. Didn't really have much luck that night. There's only been like one or two times where we haven't had a good night out there, you know. And but whenever they were reviewing that footage, like probably a week or two after it happened, um, Jason had he did it at his job because they've got like a big like 85-inch TV over there,
Yeah.
and he freaked out and called Joe. He was like, "Dude," he goes, "You are not gonna believe what we got." It wasn't that we were seeing these things like blip out and then pop back in and all that, and it wasn't like there was three of them or more. This was one thing, and you could tell by it was darker than the night around it. It was a pyramid shaped UFO, and I'm not kidding on that. It's in the documentary. This thing is like a triangle, but like it's turning and stuff. And whenever it's turning and whatnot, you can kind of make out the other ends of it coming up and everything.
Hmm.
Whenever I saw that, especially whenever like saw it on the big screen this past Saturday at the festival, because they showed the documentary and everything, and that was pretty cool. But I mean, it gives me chills every time I see it because it's just like we were right there. You know, and it's like that
That's
thing, it was
scary as
lower
heck.
than, yeah, because it was like it was lower than the clouds. Still seemed kind of far away, but it was lower than the clouds, so it wasn't that far off the ground, you know. And it just freaked us out.
I get freaked out with
So that was
those.
that. Yeah, yeah. And then let's see. The last thing I've got, it just happened on my wife's birthday. Um, so as far as like a good story goes, um, we were out there. She wanted to have like a bonfire, you know, and because she turned 40, so she was like, "I want to celebrate." I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll do that. And it was really foggy that day. I'm talking like you can't see 5 feet in front of your car fog. And
Uh-oh. He lost connection. I was ready to hear about that too. Trish, remind me to ask him if he's ever got hit with infrasound so I don't forget. Jack Rabbit. That's hilarious. There he is.
oh,
It happens.
hey, okay. I was
We're
gonna
used
say, I was like,
to
oh, what I do?
technical problems. No, you're
um,
good.
all right, cool. Sorry about that. All right,
It's all right.
so anyways, we were sitting there. We told Dad we were gonna be coming out there, so he went ahead and had the fire going for us. And here in Southern Illinois in the winter, because like I said, it was late. It was November 23rd to be exact, because that's her birthday.
Hmm.
Um, we were it gets dark about 5 o'clock, you know, and so we got there at 4:30. You know, Dad visited with us for a little while inside to eat dinner. So we're just sitting there chilling, you know, staring at the enjoying the day. And it was probably about all of a sudden we just hear this loud, blood curdling, sounded like a woman screaming bloody murder scream,
Oof.
but it went for like a solid 10 seconds. And the lung power on this, like, it sounded like it came from 2 fields over from where we were at, which would be that field where they found the 18-inch prints. And to
Hmm.
kind of give it the whole, you know, that could have been a female squatch thing. Whenever, like I said, it sounded like a female screaming bloody murder. And it ended like ape like. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Um, like me and her kind of looked at each other, and I'm like, she goes like, "What was that?" I'm like, I think I got an idea, but I don't know because I haven't heard that particular noise from them. I've heard
That's
whoops and
terrifying.
I've heard, yeah, made me feel very uneasy. So like, and of course, like right after this happens, one of her friends pulls up to hang out with us. So we were like, "Hey, if we seem really weird right now, this just happened." And she was like, "Oh, okay."
Right.
She doesn't believe. And so Amber and her friend, they were sitting there talking. I'm like, all right, cool. She's chill. But me, I'm still on alert, right? And it wasn't long after I heard that, and they got to talking and everything, that all of a sudden I start hearing bipedal footsteps. Because restart that. The fire pit, you've got about 20 yards of just grass, and then got woods again. So
Mhm.
of me, where I'm facing the woods, right on the other side of the fire pit, you've got bipedal footsteps to the left, to the right, and coming up the center. So that's three plus the one I heard 2 fields behind me. So that's why I say I think there's 4 of them out there. Didn't bother us.
Mhm.
Couldn't see them because it was so foggy. Even if I tried to shine a light over there, I would not have been able to see any eye shine because the light would have just hit the fog
Yeah.
and that would have been it. Um,
Yeah.
but I told Dad about it, and he was all like, "Yeah." He's like, "I told you, whenever I have fires, they always come out and seem to hang around just out of sight, but let you know they're there." I'm like, "Yeah, they let me know they're there," and I told him about that scream and everything, and he'd heard it too. I mean, so it's pretty interesting. It's pretty wild out there. But I
It
mean,
is.
nothing happened, and it. I mean, we were probably there for like maybe another. I don't know. I think it was about 7 o'clock whenever we finally decided to go ahead and go home. So we weren't
Mhm.
out there very long, but that's just one of those things. Like why I need to get an audio recorder because just have it running. Like there's these guys that are here in Southern Illinois that they go and are down in the Shawnee National Forest doing a lot of squatching down there. They're called the Squatchers, and they'd be
Mhm.
good guys to get on your show too. Um, they they always said just get them and just even if you're just sitting out talking with somebody, just have your recorder going because you never know what's going to happen, and then if it happens you've got it on audio. And I was like, man, that's a good idea.
They're right.
So
They're right.
yeah, so that's why I'm going to do it. But yeah, I mean, it was just wild, man.
Me and
um
Trish got
we
audio one time of a Bigfoot, and it was yelling, and it was because Trish thought she seen something. Well, she did see something in the trees, and she was like, "Give me your
mm,
phone," and she was videoing the trees, and she made like a noise. That's how she calls to him. She don't, and it yelled behind us. It's on video. I can show it
oh
to you if you
wow.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, send me that sometime, that'd be cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
it's on
did
here too.
anybody have any questions for me?
Yeah, Trish wanted to know if you got hit with infrasound. If you have been.
I don't know. I've never immediately felt sick. Now there has been times where like I'll be tired, like I've had like an extreme workout for a day or two afterwards. But I've never had that like feeling sick to your stomach or anything like that. Um, I don't know if that has to do with me doing like the Native American greeting to them and letting them know, like welcoming them and all that kind of stuff and the whole coming
Hmm.
in peace thing. Because I mean, that it's almost like whenever you're doing ghost hunting, you almost do the same thing, like
Yeah.
stating intention. So I might have, but I don't really know. But I've definitely never felt sick to my stomach out there when I'm doing that.
Yeah, she wanted to know that, and you already answered the orb part clearly.
Yeah,
Um, my
yeah.
other question was, have you seen I call it the fog or a mist before or during or after you see those?
Um, maybe. There was
Hmm.
one time we were out there and I thought I saw some eye shine and I wasn't for sure because like it could have been a raccoon or something.
Hmm.
Um, and then there was a little bit of like a haziness, I would call it.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I remember kind of being like, oh, that's weird, but I didn't realize that was like a Bigfoot thing, you know what I mean?
I think it's a
Um,
cryptid thing,
okay. Like maybe like going in and out of
honestly.
dimension possibly or
Materializing or whatever they're doing because we've been
yeah.
catching it in photos. Um,
Hmm,
Trisha caught it on trail cams. I caught it just taking pictures one after the other.
yeah.
Several other people we know have caught it, and I was just curious if you had seen it.
Yeah, I mean yeah, I mean it was kind of like a haziness, like kind of
Hmm.
like like heat coming off a road almost, but like
Oh,
in the wood line.
that's a different thing
Yeah.
too. That's them being cloaked. Honestly, the hazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This is like fog or mist. You can actually see it. I can send you some pictures of what we caught.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Send me some pictures so I can look at it and see if that clicks off anything in my head.
And then
Um,
Michigan Sandman had a question. Have you practiced anything to receive mind speak? Or,
no. I've asked them to give me signs and stuff. If you know, like their presence and whatnot. There was one time Dad calls it the warbler, and come to find out we were talking about the same thing. There's one time I heard this vocalization that sounded like something that its voice was like a belly growl, but not like a mean growl. Just that was like the sound of its voice, and it was mumbling. I heard a vocalization like that come from the creek one time, not long after I did the Native American greeting. Um, but I don't know how to like prepare myself for mind speak or anything like that. I'm open to it, but I don't know how to initiate it.
right. Um, I think that's people have that happen to them though a lot out in the
Hmm.
field. Not even researchers. I'm not a researcher. I've had weird stuff happen to me, you know,
Yeah.
that I've seen, but I sure do pick out patterns. That's why I was asking you about the fog or the
Yeah.
mist,
No. Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. Definitely send me those pictures because now you got me wondering. So if I'm gonna look at that and then try and rack my brain and see if I've seen it or just keep an eye out for it
They're
now.
actually probably on here, and they're probably in Trisha's files, and I just can't.
Okay.
She has so many files, I can't tell what's what. You know what I mean? And I don't want to
Yeah.
accidentally show something that she's got in
Right.
here. I do think I have that
Yeah.
Sasquatch yell in here, though, if you want to hear it.
Sure. Yeah. And then I'm gonna have to hop off, unfortunately, because I gotta get my kids over to my mom's house.
Well, hopefully this is the right file, but and excuse me because I dropped the F bomb in this.
I
So
cuss like a sailor. I just try to keep it clean for YouTube.
yeah, well, let me see if this is even the right video. It might not even be. Hold on.
All right.
I don't see the body of it there. Did you fucking hear that? That was just one of them. Did it 3 times.
We've heard stuff like that out there.
It was
Yeah.
so loud. Like that video does it no justice. It was loud.
Hmm.
I was like, what in
Yeah.
the world?
Have you guys had things that you've heard it with your naked ear and everything like that, and for whatever reason, audio or video did not pick it up? Because we've ran into that
Yes.
problem too, and we were recording. We even
Or
double
vice
checked that we
versa.
were recording.
Or vice versa. The audio only picked, or the recording only picked it up. Trisha has that crap happen to her all the time. She's in the
Okay,
LBL
good.
all the time having that.
Yeah.
Yep. It's really
Yeah, they
weird.
just had like a tornado or something go through the LBL today, I think it was, or yesterday. There was some big warnings going on because I have my well, we don't talk anymore. My brother lives over on I think it's Lake Barkley or something like that, and they had tornado warnings yesterday of one going through there. So hopefully nobody got hurt.
I hope not. I really want to thank you, though.
But
I'm glad that
yeah,
our schedules finally worked out
oh
and
yeah,
that you were able to come on. I
yeah, me
appreciate it.
too.
I
This was some.
enjoyed listening to you. Yeah, it is. Did you want to share any of your social medias or anything?
Yeah, Facebook. I've thought about doing a podcast, the time for it. But yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to add me on Facebook, just Bryce Edwards. It's Bryce with a Y. My picture is me and my wife. I think my cover photo right now, Clan, is Sami Zayn with the WWE. Just won it yesterday, so woo. I'm a dork. What can I say? But yeah, I mean, anybody,
Easy.
send me a message if you saw me on here, and I'll accept your friend request, no problem. Um, yeah. So like I said, Joe's channel to see the documentary that we did and like the videos and stuff, investigation videos we've done. It's Red Room Films or Red Room. semicolon monsters and legends. Um, yeah. Or like I said, you can just look up the Pond Creek Monster in the search bar on YouTube, and that usually pulls up my stuff too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check those out.
Yeah, I probably should have sent those links before this, but I didn't think about it.
I'll
But
try to
yeah,
link
I
them.
mean,
I'll try to link this up.
okay, all right, cool. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And if you say Trish or who, yeah, does Trish? She's down in the LBL a lot. Does she live in Kentucky or Illinois?
She does. She lives in Kentucky. Hmm.
Okay. Well, maybe sometime, if you guys get together or whatever, you guys want to come out to the farm or something like that, I can get with Joe and everything, and we can take you out there and show you guys around and stuff and see if we can capture anything.
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
I really would. I'll let Trish know because
Okay.
um, that's what we do. We just wander around, and if stuff happens, stuff happens. You know what I mean? We just
Yeah.
enjoy nature,
Yeah.
but she is a
Right.
researcher though. So for
Okay.
Monsters Unleashed, but I really
Nice.
appreciate it, and I enjoyed
Yeah.
talking with you. Really did. Come
Yeah,
back on
absolutely.
anytime you would like.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you
Well,
for
thank you
having me
guys for
on.
being here. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. Thank you guys for being in chat and supporting me. I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Mike, for being my moderator. And I'm going to go ahead and end this live, but thank you so much. Have a good day, okay?
Yeah, you too.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Voices rising,